Welcome back, guys, and we are in Saudi Arabia this week at the Jeddah Circuit, the last of the triple header before we go on a little break. So let's get into some circuit stats for you. We have 50 laps, we have 6.17 kilometers circuit length, and we have about a 308 kilometers race distance. The lap record holder here is Lewis Hamilton from 2021 with a time of 1.3734 seconds. This is a very fast circuit. It comes second to Monza with the speeds, and it has 3 DRS zones, so we are going to be having the DRS trains, and none of us like that, but this is what we're going to see. Also, overtaking is a bit difficult because of the narrow walls of this track. So even though the drivers do have DRS, it's not that effective here. So overtaking is difficult, like I said, because of the walls and the speed of the track. We're going with low downforce on this track. And like I said, 27 corners, and it's fast corners. So Red Bull likes the fast corners. Last week they didn't like the slow corners. Are we going to see a safety car? I definitely think so, especially for the rookies. This is not an easy circuit for the rookies. Because this is a low deck track, we are getting softer tires from Pirelli this week. So the C3 is hard, C4 is medium, and the C5 is soft. So completely opposite to what we had last week. So let's get onto the team. So Mercedes had a good race last week. And yes, it wasn't too great for Kimi, but yeah, we had George there as usual, getting his stuff done, Mr. Consistency, right place, right time. Guys, you know what I think of George already. So yeah, they did well to keep Lando back. Yeah, and at the end, George was having mechanical issues, but he was still able to bring it home. Kimi had an extra stop, which didn't help him. But I'm very excited to see how Kimi drives here. I'm just hoping there are no big crashes for the rookies. And I cannot wait actually to see him on this track. He's one of the rookies that I really like. At first I didn't like, but now I really do like. So yeah, I think Mercedes will do well. I think they'll be fighting Ferrari for, top 3 kind of thing. So let's see how it is. So let's get on to Ferrari. Bahrain was a bit better for them. Charles actually did really well. I felt he did do well. Lewis did do well. He got driver of the day for P9 to P5, I think it was. I do kind of feel that Ollie deserved the driver of the day more. Last weekend, Charles was saying he's feeling a bit frustrated and he wants to set up his car his own way and not the same as Lewis, or not that they have the exact same, but kind of saying that he's going to set up the car the way he wants and not sort of listen to the engineers, etc. So let's see how that works out for him. Also, quali is so important this weekend. As we're starting to see, quali is almost like Monaco, where you win the race on a Saturday. So they really need to dial in on Saturday and get quali right. I think it's so important for Ferrari at the moment. And let's see if they can bring some race pace to Jeddah. Like I said, it's one of the fastest tracks, and this is where we're going to lose out if we don't have the race pace. So let's see what happens on Sunday. Charles has done very well here before, so I don't put it past him that he could do well. Lewis could struggle a bit. He's still getting used to the car, but that's what it is. So let's get on to Red Bull. Bahrain wasn't that kind to Red Bull. Max was having issues the whole weekend. He kept on complaining. Yuki did okay, but not the greatest. But yes, he got into quali, so that's very important. And like I said, they really struggled this weekend with those slow corners. They don't like it. And they obviously, with slow corners and the brakes on the back, you're getting high tire deg. And that was a high tire deg track. So this track should be better with the fast flowing corners that they like. I'm maybe going to be bullish and say that Max is going to be in the top 3, but he is struggling, and I'm sure we saw on social media that his manager is like really mad and all kinds of things, that he is not doing well. I think RB is putting so much effort into their 26 car, and they actually need to now upgrade their current car, because before their car was so fast, like a McLaren, they left the upgrades kind of thing. Nobody could catch them, but now everybody is. So I think for Max to be happier, they need to bring some kind of upgrades and let's see what happens. So let's get on to McLaren. McLaren, like I said, is having a ball of a time. The car is adaptable to any circuit. I don't see any problems here going into Jeddah. You know, they're good in fast corners, they're good in slow corners. So Oscar did very well with his gap as well, keeping it in the front. Lando is still sort of hot-headed. From the first race, I thought Lando seemed a bit better. His composure was better. But last week, we actually saw all the little mistakes that Lando is doing. And Lando can't afford to do those little mistakes. And I think that's where Piastri outdrives him, because Piastri sort of keeps his head down and he doesn't make those mistakes. Or if he does make it on one lap, he makes sure he does not do it again. So little things are tripping up Lando. And I'm just going to say, I think Oscar is going to be the world champion. We will see this week, but I definitely see, of course, a podium for McLaren again. But I think from this weekend, we may see Oscar going to the top. And if he does, he will become on top of the leaderboard anyway. So let's get into my predictions. So in 2023, Perez won here, because remember, Perez was the king of the streets. So he did really well. And then we had Max, and then we had Alonso. That was when Aston Martin was still good in that, little era that they had. And then in 2024, Max came first, then Perez, and then Leclerc. That is why I'm saying Charles does well at this track. So who do we think is going to be on pole? I think Max is going to fight for this pole on Saturday, but I would like it to be Piastri, Orlando. More Piastri, but Max is definitely going to go for it. And then for your winners, I see straight out McLaren. If Red Bull sorts out their car, I'm going to say, Max. And then Mercedes with Ferrari. So I would like to see a 1-2 of Oscar, Lando, and then I would love it to be Charles, but I think it may be George or Max. Let's see. Anyway, guys, have an awesome weekend. Stay safe. And we're running late time, so normal times for us. Enjoy the Grand Prix. Bye.